This is Kati Arrendondo, her kitchen space here, built on an external wall from the original space. Home was built in 1940. It's got pier and beam construction. Everything's run underneath the home for plumbing. In this space here, we'd like to keep the range where it's at. We need to move this electrical here down to this space here. I don't think we'd be able to share this electric with a microwave that she'd like to put on top. I checked this circuit out. When I turned this circuit off, this came off, this went off. All of the outlets on the backsplash went out. The dishwasher went out. That light went out. This outlet went out. And that light went out. So there's pretty much enough stuff tied into that. However, when I went out and took a look at the circuit breaker box, there's not any spaces left to add on to a circuit. But we have a gas range. We'll probably stay with the gas range. We have a 220 outlet here. We could disable that outlet and run all new electric, and that would free up 2 spots, and she would just lose that 220 outlet for the range that she's no longer using anyway. The refrigerator in its current location will be moved, the space right here, and be moved all the way over, and I think pretty much centered up along this wall here. There is no electric available on that wall, and there's no water over here, so we would have to run new water over. And then if you look, there is an outlet box in the wall. There's no wires in it, but that would be the approximate space that we would need to be able to install an outlet for the refrigerator. I have to see when the cabinet design comes back, but we could possibly use that box, maybe cut a hole in the wall and fish some wires down inside this wall. The walls in this house are multiple surfaces. I could look in between on some of the outlets and places, and I can see that there's shiplap or tongue and groove on the wall. This tongue and groove here runs behind the cabinet all the way to the ground, all the way over here. There's paneling over here on this wall with large gaps in between the panels, and it doesn't go all the way up. The panels are 8 by, the ceilings are 9 foot tall, so the last 1 foot of the wall was pieced in there. And like I said, there's some rather large gaps in between the paneling. Customer feels that, or she knows that there's shiplap behind the paneling on these walls, and she wants to remove the paneling from the walls to get at the shiplap and have that painted prior to us coming in to install cabinets. I think that it might be advisable to rip everything down and use some possibly 1/4-inch drywall or something like that, and lay over the existing stuff so that we could create a homogeneous surface with which to install our cabinets and do our work on. Kind of like what was done over here. This wall is drywall, and it's drywall over shiplap. That's why over here you have such a small gap on this side on the casing, and then over here on this side you have a much larger gap on the casing. They used 1/2-inch drywall. Maybe we could use 1/4-inch and it wouldn't create that small of a gap. So all these cabinets are gone. Remove all these cabinets, remove all the base cabinets, install not only the fridge over in this space, but also a run of cabinets built around the fridge, like a pantry, and over the top of the fridge. And down on this side, this space here, she wants the cabinets currently to come all the way to this edge, but that casing, which is really wide, intrudes on the 24 inches of depth that she would need to be able to put those in. Also, that outlet would be covered by that run of cabinets. I would suggest leaving that space open and maybe putting a trash can there or something. That's okay. Dishwasher is hardwired. Plumbing for the sink is not centered. Plumbing for the sink is off to the right, and it has PVC, not PVC on the cold side, so that's not up to code. Copper on the hot side, and ball valves. I think that most of this stuff would need to be reworked. Probably the cold side would need to be completely replaced. and replaced with CPVC or copper. Not being centered, not a big deal. I think the customer prefers a 33-inch sink base, and if it was centered on the window, it would capture all of this plumbing. But like I said, the cold side plumbing is not up to code, and we did need to replace that. And talking about not up to code, here is the gas origination with an out of code valve. Ran along this wall, back behind the fridge, running along here, terminating in this spot here with a brass adapter and hooking up to an out of code gas line that goes to the actual stove. So that gas will need to be removed and replumbed over into the floor in this spot with a new valve.